last question would be, how strong is the IT Act of the country? Does it covers all type of threats taking place in cyberspace? Is it mandatory for all wars fraternity to be aware of this?
Well, the last amendment of the Information Technology Act was done in 2008. And it was put into use in October 27, 2009. So it's more than 8 years that it's not been amended with. But from 2009, October 27 to 2018, we have seen that the technology has moved very fast. So one thing is, our IT Act is not as strong as what it should be, number one. Number two is that we had a small, a minor change, very minor amendment, IT Act 2011, which basically spoke about rules and regulations to be followed by the intermediaries. I won't say that it was a complete inaction of the IT Act as such. For me, 2009, that is the last amendment was done, I will take that as a factor. But IT Act 2008 amended, came into use in 2009, still has got lot of particular teeth to be put across. I would say, as on now, it's a little toothless wonder. Because most of the offenses, even though they may be cognizable, but they are bailable. But the civil liability is very huge. Up to 1 crore rupees compensation, up to 5 crore rupees compensation. So the civil liability is there, but from the criminal point of view, the act requires to be modified as per as the present norms. And if you see in the IT Act, there are provisions in which the service providers are not liable for certain offenses, but it is not properly described as such. You being a service provider, if you are doing a service to a client, to a customer, what is not your particular duty is not adequately defined. And therefore, the IT Act has to be modified, has to be amended. And if it doesn't come by this year end, then probably we may be seeing more cyber threats, more cyber compliance issues, more legal cases filed, and our court and our judicial system and our law enforcement agencies have to have dedicated cyber appellate tribunal court to take only this particular matters, other than the matters which are there. There are more than 3 crores matters which have been pending. IT Act, in a year we have about 5,000 to 6,000 cases. That just maybe 1% of the total actual cyber crime cases taking place in our country. The 99% of them still don't get registered because 98% people in our country still don't know what is cyber crime. The day when people realize this, you'll find that this will be an open field and it will be very difficult for the system then to control. So as a solution provider, give a solution now itself. Give a package solution, customized solution according to the law of the land, and I'm sure that by this year end, there will be a change in the IT Act. There will be amendments in the IT Act where your rights also will be preserved and your customer also will be happy and your business also will scale in this digital India transformation.
So before we end the session, can I have any question you have? I will take only 2 questions. Please give the mic. Yeah, please.
Hello, sir. I am Nainesh here from Rose Computers, Mumbai. I just want to know that one, if somebody want to start a software business, as you say about that there will be a cyber laws are there, when he he develops some software and give it to the customer. So where he will get the knowledge for that particular laws? There is any website is available or from where the customer will get the data?
See,
the information basically.
There is no website as such. What you could do, I can tell you, not dedicated to this, but to get yourself an academic knowledge, you can go into the website of CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team, where you will get a basic extract of what Information Technology Act is, number one. Number two is that, since you're talking about this software, you should be well acquainted with IPR, Intellectual Property Rights, and you should know what is WIPO. Because this is the parent organization where all your patents and all get to be registered with. So these are the WIPO, one, and second is, as the IT Act, the BEAR Act you can get from the CERT's website, where you will get some academic knowledge. And to get into the professional point of view, I think you may have to get in touch with some cyber lawyers. As soon as you develop a software, get an opinion, make an NDA, and then hand it over to the customer, which says that, okay, whose this particular property lies with. Today I had this particular case where whichever is this government entity said that we have developed, this software has been developed by this vendor, but the vendor has written in his particular agreement that whatever we have developed, the property still belongs to the vendor. They said, no, it cannot be. But this has come to the light now, and there is a dispute going on with. So go on to the CERT's website, get some knowledge of WIPO, where you will get a fair amount of knowledge.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can you have the last question? Okay, I will ask the last question. What is the implication if I use the social media in my mobile phone?
Well, last 3 weeks or so, we have been seeing the paper, we have been seeing the newspaper, we are seeing the social media, we are seeing the internet, what has happened across with. And after I saw the news on various channels on the social media, I started doing a forensic of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and realized that nothing is secure in this social media. In fact, when I was doing a forensic of Facebook, I could get the calls which were made by me 2 years before. I could also get from which latitude and which longitude I received the call, and from which latitude and longitude I made the call. So when such type of information is being recorded in the name of marketing, then I think it is a serious breach of privacy. Social media as such is no more a secure place. In fact, Americans are going out, and we Indians are adding up to the social space. Today, I believe that any of the social networking site in any part of the world is working thanks to India, thanks to our country, because we are glued up over there, and I don't think any of the country is as glued as what our country is glued across with. The other part, when you talk about the social media point of view, is that we don't have a data privacy policy in place, or we don't have a data privacy law in place. So tomorrow, if there is any part of a data snooping, or if there is any type of a data been intruded, or your information has been hacked across, probably you and me have to go to US and fight out the case over there. The important parameter is that whenever we get logged into any of the social media, nor we read the privacy policy, nor we read where the jurisdiction is, and most importantly, we don't know what to chat and what not to chat. And therefore, when a forensic of a Facebook revealed to me that everything related to my personal life, my professional life, I'm not there on Facebook, but I did a forensic of one of the well-known person in the media industry, and he was shocked when he said that my whole life is there in that social media, and my whole information is been taken over by a party under my nose. Because when I opted for that social networking site, I accepted all terms and conditions without applying my knowledge, without applying my mind, and today my data is stored in a country where a jurisdiction also is a problem. And if at all I have to fight a case, probably I may have to go to an alien country, file a case up over there, and maybe for years together I don't know what the final outcome it should be across. And lastly, I would say, when you talk about the social media point of view, today, when I was there with one of the government entity, WhatsApp, and it happened to be a very sensitive department. And I could see a guy who was, while the communication was going on, meeting was going on, he was well glued onto his WhatsApp. So I just told him that, can you just ping me? He just pinged me. And then what message he pinged me, that message, when it reached my mobile, it was changed. For example, the message, I told him, you send me a message that you are in Delhi. But when it came to my mobile, it came, I'm in Mumbai. He said, look, on my mobile, it is I'm in Delhi. And on your mobile, it is an I'm in Mumbai. I said, just wait across. And the next half a minute, this particular message, I'm in Mumbai, got an addition also to it. And when he saw it, he said, no more WhatsApp. And if you look at from the legal perspective point of view, WhatsApp, by its inherent nature, says I'm a virtual server, doesn't store the data. It works like a post office. Any particular data which comes up onto a WhatsApp, if a printout of that message, along with a Section 65B certificate attached to it, becomes admissible from the smallest court to the biggest court in our country. And when he heard all this, he said that you wrote something else also, which I have not communicated with you. And if all this comes in the public domain, then I'm in serious trouble. I said that probably today you are one of the wealthy and healthy soul who realize this. But I think the time is very, very small now for us to realize the threats which are taking place on the social media. Until the time we don't know how to use this social media, please don't use it. That's what will be my final word to you as a gesture, as a good friend to you, as a sabbatical Samaritan to you, that chat only what you want, because if there are any particular chat which is illegal or unlawful, WhatsApp won't provide the information to us whether it is genuine or spoofed. It is the person who can take a printout, maybe modification, attach a Section 65B certificate, produce it in the court, it becomes admissible. And last, a month and a half before, I was training Bangladeshi judges. I went across to their ICT law, Information and Communication Technology Act. In our country, we say it as Information Technology Act. When I'm teaching the Bangladeshi judges, I just went through their legal provision sections of this cyber law for 15-20 minutes, all I couldn't get. So I spoke to the Honorable Supreme Court judge saying that, can I make a technical presentation? He said, make it. So a couple of the Bangladeshi judges, I had some of the messages generated from them saying that I will have your matter to be resolved, which is there in my court. Pay me 10 lakh takas. I said, I got this message from so-and-so person. The Chief Judicial Magistrate from Bangladesh raised, he said, this is my number, but I never chatted with you. You say you have never chatted, but it's there on my mobile phone, and if I take a printout, if I attach a Section 65B certificate, it becomes admissible. He was so scary. He said that in our country, Section 59 of ICT says that if you hack into any of this mobile phone, up to 10 years of imprisonment. I say, first you prove it has been hacked. He said, no answer for me. So what I would say that, use social media, but use with a pinch of salt. It can be a double-edged sword itself.
So can you take as a final, like digital evidences can be challenged in the court or cannot be challenged in the court?
In fact, digital evidence by its primary nature, if you see the Indian Evidence Act from Section 22, and if you see the Indian Evidence Act, Section 65B4, the digital evidence is primary in nature, so it cannot be challenged. It cannot be challenged because it's primary. And the device in which you have got this information is in your hands. So you have the burden of proving that it is fake is relying on you. And since by its inherent nature it is called as a primary evidence, proving it is extremely, extremely difficult. It's last 1 year or so that our judicial system has started training the judicial officers.
Yes.
And now the court has realized that this also could be modified, this also could be tampered, or this also could be changed. But if you ask me as a general case, well, digital evidence cannot be challenged because it is primary in nature.
Thank you, Harold. Thank you for your time.